big Gonzaga fan, living in Spokane, and then you walked onto the team, and then 4 years later you're starting, going to the tournament. Like, what was that like? That kid that grew up dreaming about that and then eventually doing it.
No, it was, a dream come true. Just even, earning the scholarship probably my sophomore year. That was it for me. Like, I was like, what? Felt like that I don't really need to, I proved to myself kind of what, as much as I needed to. Everything else is really just like icing on the cake.
There's this kind of wave of players getting paid, but like, what are your thoughts on it? How deep into how it all works are you?
I don't really know how it all works. I know that kids are making huge amounts of money right now, and I don't really like kind of what it's done to the game. Like, for the guys, for the players themselves, like, of course, like,
yeah,
if you have a chance to make some money, the players run everything. They can't get waived. They always, they can transfer at the end of the year. And I think just for coaching and basketball in general, it's like,
there's no year story.
Yeah, no, and then no one's like, the coach tell them he's not good enough and he worked hard enough to then like earn that coach's respect. Everyone just transfers now. I feel like it hurts us at the national level. I think eventually that's what it's going to lead to, is we'll start losing gold medals and stuff like that. I know it's kind of a weird connection, but I think we don't have like dogs anymore.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Washed Up. I'm Eric Mika, joined by Alex Kuresa, TJ Haws, and today's special guest, David Stockton, G League legend. You're only 500 assists away from the record.
Oh, really?
Of assists.
I had no idea.
Is the goal to beat that?
I hope not.
Yeah. David and I, we go back a ways. When he was at Gonzaga, you were there from 2010 to 2014. And so my freshman year at BYU, we played against each other. We got them once. Unfortunately, they got us twice, and when it mattered in the championship. But he was at Gonzaga, and then we played together, 4 or 5 years later in Germany. We played together on a couple Team USA qualifying teams. I don't know if you knew I played on Team USA.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah. I knew that. Apparently, I talk about it a lot. We'll stay away from that one today. And then most recently with the G League Ignite for part of the season. Again, we're laughing because I talk about G League Ignite too much. But it's good to have you, David. He's in town right now. You're with, what do you guys call it? Is it the
Valley Suns?
The Valley Suns. Yeah. It's the first year. They existed before.
Yeah, they were the
Northern Arizona Suns.
Yeah.
And then randomly some other team acquired them, which I never understand how that works.
Yeah, I don't know how it all shook out.
So then they disappeared, and now they're back as the Valley Suns. You guys played the Salt Lake City Stars last night, won, and you're on a back-to-back. You got another game tonight.
Yeah, got another one tonight.
That's the funnest part of the G League, those back-to-backs.
Yep.
You probably had like a 6 a.m. flight the day after that?
I think they made those illegal now. I don't think you can
Really?
Well, you can't. You have to let people sleep and rest now. There's rules.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's gotten better.
Just
wow.
Like the
basic
mandatory.
Yeah.
They're even letting you eat food and stuff. So it's been good.
They'll let you, talk to your family. They don't take your phones anymore. Okay, well, we're going to get this started with the rapid fire. Alex, you want to lead us off? You know what this first question is?
Yeah, bro.
It's the same one. It's the same one as Kyle.
Oh yeah.
But I want to hear you frame it up and hear your argument.
We've had a lot of back and forth on this, but what's the largest animal you could kill with your bare hands?
Ooh.
And by bare hands, we mean you're in the wilderness, so you can use
Yeah,
what's
like you
around
can.
you.
Yeah,
So I can grab a stick.
Yeah, and a rock.
Or a rock.
You can ring together some
I
kind
could
of.
get a mountain lion, I think. I think I'd get torn up, but at the same time, I think I could get them.
You're not getting him out.
That's what I said. And they've been giving me crap for over a week now about it.
He's quick and
His
crafty,
strategy
bro.
would be better than yours.
Yeah, he's
He'd be
quick
a
and
little bit
crafty. You're
smarter.
big.
You guys just met him.
clumsy.
I know his strategy would be good.
I played against
quick
him.
and crafty, bro. You're gonna be big and clumsy.
Yeah, you're too loud, first off.
Yeah.
What does volume have to do with?
Well, you might sneak up on it and never see him. Kill it.
That's not okay. That's not part of it.
You're putting a ring together?
No, it knows we're there. Like we're we're looking at each other in the eyes, and it's like clearly it's go time. There's no sneaking. Or else, yeah, I agree. Dave would probably have an advantage.
When Kyle's alligator thing was
Why an alligator? How do you even kill an alligator? I feel like they have like bulletproof skin.
Kyle Collinsworth said alligator.
It's like
That's a tough one. There.
Way out of left field.
Yeah.
like why?
I mean, are we on land or are we in the water there?
Well, he said land.
He said land.
Yeah, he lured it out with some meat.
That's like
That's what he said. He's like, I'm gonna learn how to meat and then just hop on him. Like you're boss.
Bash its head, and it's a wrap.
all right. What's the strategy to get a mountain lion then?
I don't know. I'm just hoping kind of adrenaline takes over. You know, I got more to lose. He's just a wild animal.
Yeah.
I got to be smarter. Probably pick up a rock and then, you know, just be the last one standing.
Yeah, I like that. Covered in blood. Ripped up a little bit. Yeah, those teeth and those claws are no joke, though.
I feel like they're much stronger. Mountain lion is much stronger than we think.
How much do you think they could squat? Or bench?
I'm squatting way more than a mountain.
That's what I think.
Burst. No, they got some burst, but like just they're not squatting.
They can
Well,
jump.
Alex played football, so he can squat.
There you go.
That's true. That's a good
We should set a stage for you as well. Alex, he's a big football guy.
Oh, okay.
He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
I'm paying some respect.
Can't shoot. Tough guy.
No, I can shoot for sure.
He can. He's
Jack
physically
Cooley type
capable of
deals.
shooting. He's physically capable. All right, I like the answer. Goes along with what I said, so I'm not crazy. All right, next rapid fire is all-time Gonzaga starting five. And again, we did this with Kyle. We don't want like your five best players that ever played there. We want you to win now. Like you want to build a team that wins a lot right now.
Ooh.
Of all-time players.
I'd probably go 5. I'd go Olynyk. I'd go Sabonis at the 4.
Jeez, I mean, that's already it.
Probably Morrison at the 3. I would say if I could put Suggs at my 2, just because he's
Just a crazy
scrapper.
athlete.
He can kind of do. There's just a bunch of guys I could put in that, like Nemhard or Nigel Williams-Goss. I mean, there's so many people that I'm leaving out. Rui.
We'll give you 6. We'll give you 1 off the bench.
I'll probably put my dad at the 1.
That's fair.
And then, I'd come off the bench on that team.
That's solid.
I think that's pretty solid.
Are you coming off just shooting everything?
I'm doing whatever the team needs.
Yeah.
Taking charges.
Attaboy.
There you go.
Taking charges.
They don't call those anymore in the G League, if you're wondering, by the way.
Really?
So yeah,
Everything's a block.
Oh yeah, every single one.
That's crazy. What's been your highest score this year? You guys gotten to 150?
Oh yeah, pretty sure.
That's crazy.
That's fine. And we've had some couple 75-point halves too. It's like it's fairly normal actually, because everyone just jacks threes, and if you're hot, it's going to be a huge number.
You didn't play with Adam Morrison, did you?
No, but he
probably lived 2 years before he got there, or
2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But he's from Spokane, so he's always back there working out and everything. So I played against him and with him a ton.
He does the radio, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does radio now.
He's a cool guy. Talked to him a few times.
He's good.
I like him.
Why didn't he stick, do you think? Why didn't it translate?
I think he just kind of had a bad situation to start.
Where did he get drafted?
The Bobcats.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Larry Brown didn't really like him.
Yeah.
But you kind of had to take him because he was so good in college. And I think he had a microfracture injury that year. He was averaging about 16, 17 points per game. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I think it was around there.
Yeah.
And then being, a diabetic, it just took him a long time to recover and never got a chance to really develop in a role. So
yeah. That's tough. It's just all situational.
Definitely.
I mean, you get, what was he, 3rd pick? Something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. 3rd pick, but your coach doesn't like you. So you have all the pressure of being the 3rd pick. And the organization only took you because they felt like they had to.
Confidence is everything.
Yeah.
Really is. Changes a player completely.
Yeah, and your head coach not like you. That's
tough.
deal. It's a tough deal. All right, next question. Wait, did you finish your 5? So your dad, you're coming off the bench. Suggs, Morrison, Sabonis, Olynyk.
Yeah.
There's
a lot that we're leaving out here, though, for sure.
No, that's. I mean, I can.
Gonzaga's
if you
hard.
ask me again, I would probably come up with a different 5. To be honest.
TJ has a bone to pick with Gonzaga.
I don't. I mean, I've just had our fair share of battles. Some mountain lion deals. We're all coming up bloody at the end,
Well,
sometimes.
Unfortunately, we were actually the mountain lion. We were the cougar. He got his head bashed in. No, I was telling you this last night on the phone. DJ brought up an interesting point. You don't think they were ever not ranked or something?
My 4 years I played them, I would argue those were the best 4 years. And Gonzaga, they were. We every time we played them both times. And I think they were number 1 or 2.
They were 1 definitely at Gonzaga. I think they were 2 when they were in the Marriott Center.
And I think all 4 years, I don't think I played a team that was a higher seed than a 5.
Wow.
Like it was 1,
That's
2, or
wild.
3.
How many times did you play them?
We just played them 2 my freshman year, right?
Yeah.
And then I think 2. I think only 1 year we played them 3. And
You met them in the tourney.
Yeah.
How many times did you get them?
twice.
Wow.
Once my freshman year.
You guys suck. You guys were
Once my
cheating.
senior
2
or
for
something.
10. Like 2 for 10.
Just stealing all the good European talent. Or
Well, like I said, it was the craziest Zags teams.
yeah. No, that's tough. I went 2 and 3. It's not bad. 1 at home, 1 in the kennel.
It's not bad.
My St. Mary's was fire. I was 3-0 my freshman year.
Yeah,
And then 0-3 my sophomore year. That hurt.
And Dellavedova hit like that 3/4 court one on you.
No, that was
That was on
probably the
Ty.
year before I was there.
Yeah.
And Ty had hit a.
Big shot right before
Was it to win it or to tie it?
To win.
Win. I think it put us up 1 or 2.
Yeah,
I was watching from home. Quincy wouldn't let me go to the game
that's wild.
because we had a game the next day. So he was like, "Yeah, you're not going."
We had a game at 7 p.m. the next day.
I know.
Couldn't go.
So I'm watching from home. My whole family's at the game. I'm like jumping up and down in the living room, then just laying on the floor after sadness.
Dellavedova, man, that's everybody's dream. He just got into the league, and did he win a championship with Cleveland?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
fire, and had like a big role.
He had all those weird antics guarding Steph.
Yeah,
And
that was obviously when they were down 3-1,
yeah.
and then they started playing Delhi.
Yeah, and he just started clamping Steph.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
TJ's going to be so upset about this.
Oh, no, I'm not just like Steph Homer.
yes, you are.
What?
You wear number 30 because of him. That means
All
you're.
right, next
That
question.
means you're Homer. Are you like TJ? I feel like you might be more on his side of the scale on this. Like, TJ doesn't even like interacting with like his former competitors. So you guys are good because you never played against each other. But if it was like Jalen Suggs, TJ would have a hard time.
No, that's not. There's different. There's like
No, not really. I think like the G League like showcase where you're like you kind of know people because you played against them,
Yeah.
like dap ups. Like I'm not really into that. Like I try to avoid those because
Yeah.
I don't really know that person.
Right.
But if I don't like just hate someone because I played against them for the most
Yeah.
part,
And I'm not saying this.
except for you. But
It's fair. Until we played.
yeah,
We were united
exactly.
by our BS situation in Germany.
and then the Ignite, right?
Of course.
After that.
Oh, that was also a BS situation, yes.
Just
I was there for like 2
G
months.
League Ignite.
Yeah, we were both hurt, and then we were both cut, and then we both never got paid.
Yeah, it was a very European deal over there.
Yeah, super weird. But Germany was even more frustrating because, what was it with you? Did you get hurt and then they just signed a guy?
Well, I did not get hurt. I get there. We play like 2 preseason games, playing okay. And then the coach is just like, I just don't feel like you're the guy for this team. We're going to work to find somebody, And so I played the next like month and a half with that on my, just with that in the back, and played fine. Like we were like top 6 in the Bundesliga, and then like finally they signed a guy, and then we tanked. We almost like got relegated.
Yeah.
So I was like pretty pumped about that, to be honest. And then my brother played for the other team, and he like
Göttingen.
Yeah, Göttingen, and he he like got like a layup to like win the game against us, and it like took everything for me not to like hop over the little median and like chest bump with his team. So I was so excited, but yeah, crazy situation over there.
We had a good time, and that's how we went from foes to friends. Because my situation wasn't great either, because I was coming from a nasty one in Italy where my team just hated me and blamed everything on me, which isn't fun. And then got recruited by this German team, and it was like, hey, you're going to be much more involved. Like, this is our offense. Like, this guy just went down for the season, and you're going to fill in perfectly for him. And I was like, sweet. And I got in there, played really well. And then all of a sudden, that guy who was quote unquote down for the season, who they've had most of the year, and their time together goes back to training camp. And he's a good player, Hassan Martin from Rhode Island. He like is randomly healthy again. So I'm there, and he's like starting to ramp up workouts, and I was like, "Are you playing? Like, I thought you were going home." And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I'll be good in like a month." So then all of a sudden, like the whole reason I went to this team is now gone. So we had 9 foreigners. We could only play 7.
And you were playing really good too before you came back.
But it was just, it was like, hey, let's get back to, how we started the season, which I totally understood. But we had a good time.
That was great.
Eat bratwurst on the bench. David would go up and grab a beer before the game. The fans loved it.
Yeah. I think he ended up playing me the last 2 games of the season because I was taking away his like fan base, because I was like going up and like drinking beers and eating bratwurst before the games, and like they all were starting to like me more than the coach. Yeah. And so I think he like, to combat that, he was like, okay, I'm going to play him, so he can't do that anymore.
100%. That guy was super interesting. Yoli went and played for him in Hamburg, and then he got fired. Not Yoli, the coach. But all right, next question. Went down a nice little rabbit hole there. We were kind of talking about this leading up to getting started. And it's a question we've asked a bunch of our guests as far as different pro leagues right now. The NBA there's a lot of talk about it being in a not so great place right now as far as ratings, as far as just the product that is being put out. What's one thing, I'm sure you've given this some thought and talked about it. It's probably a topic in the G League too. What's something you would change that you feel like would bring, maybe some fan bases back? And
man, I think that's like a really broad question. I think we talked a lot about the reffing, how they ref the games, and they have a lot of these younger refs now. They're not, they don't really know the basics yet, and then they're giving them all these emphases to like deal with in the game, and they're just not good enough to call it all. So they miss the basics, and now they miss what they're trying to look at, and it just kind of creates for like a really sporadic game and
messy.
Yeah, it's messy. You don't know what they're going to call on a given basis. I think kind of the threes thing. I think a lot of people, my team right now, we just kind of jack threes, and which we get a lot of great looks, but some days those just don't go in.
Right.
And so it's like, I don't know. I don't know if the everyday fan really wants to just see like 40, 50 threes just go up. I think they want to see, guys attacking the hoop, guys being able to be creative, seeing, because most teams are very similar in how they're like structured. Like they have their stars, and then they have everyone who just kind of just shoots.
Right. There's
not a lot of mixing up, and that's probably why Jokic is so dominant, is because he's been able to do like actual fundamental, things in a league where it's not really, thought of to be, effective.
Right. People aren't building their teams around that anymore.
No.
So that's the solution then, is just structure the teams differently? Like, because you could get rid of the 3-point line.
It feels like there's an emphasis this year on like shooting the 3 ball. Like games.
Really? You think more than past years?
Yeah, like games I've watched, it's like I'm seeing it more in like 2-on-1 situations. Like in fast breaks, I'm seeing it way more, and it just seems like dagger threes, getting rebounds, kicking it right back out way more. Like it just feels like there's like a quota every quarter.
Mhm.
It's like we gotta shoot 23s.
So who's pushing that? Just the
I don't know,
the
but
data analysis
maybe
people on
I'm
each team?
off. Maybe I'm just like noticing it now. But it
Mhm.
feels like every game I watch, it's just like, how many threes can we shoot? It's like Alex and pickup.
Yeah.
How many can I get up
What
in
is
one
your
game?
quota in pickup
Get
per
my-
game?
I'm just scoring 15 points out of 15 points is my quota.
That's your quota.
And you've never hit it. Dude.
No,
So
I-
what's going
I-
on?
It's good. It's
I've
good
hit
to set stretch
It's a
goals.
good quota.
I've hit it.
But
multiple
might need to
times.
have like a review and talk
He
about your
knows.
goals.
He's can tell you.
Apparently, he does not know.
He knows.
Do you? I'd be interested to hear from you because you coach little kids, and is your dad still doing some coaching with like
With my kids,
yeah,
like 10-year-olds.
and also like if you've talked to him about it or gotten his take on it, like do you feel like it's been pushed down? Like, do you just see more kids just shooting threes? I don't know if you remember when you were a sixth grader how many threes we were getting up. Like, maybe we just don't remember. But do you feel like that's just trickled down to college, to high school, and even to kids? It's just like, oh, Steph Curry changed the game, meaning now everyone just wants to be a shooter. And that's like, which is also valid because it's like a lot of chances, might come from that for a kid that typically, wouldn't make it because of their size or athleticism. It's like, no, this is their way to make it. And so I don't know, are parents pushing that on kids?
Yeah, I mean, you can see it a little bit like when you walk into a gym and kids are like starting shooting threes versus like,
Layups,
like
form
just,
shooting.
getting, the basics down, your form, your rhythm,
Yeah.
all that stuff. And I feel like everyone wants to be a 3-point shooter. And I feel like all kids like want everyone copies the NBA to a certain level, and like the trash talk too, it goes down to kids too. Like all kids are going like this after they make three. I'm just like, just make your three and get back on D. Like,
Are you getting on them about that stuff?
my team's pretty good.
You taught them the right principles.
I'm like,
That's hilarious. Are your kids wearing like arm sleeves and headbands too, like you were?
I wasn't.
Yeah, you were. You told me yesterday you were. You wanted to get earrings.
Yeah, I did, and tattoos, the whole deal. No, not as much. I don't feel like it's on my teams. It's ever like overly headbands, armbands, anything like that. But
What about you? You feel like the youth basketball you've seen, or do you and your dad just cut that out?
Well, my dad's really good about, making sure the kids like have the fundamentals, and, he has pretty strict rules on like we all wear the same socks, and like tucking jerseys, stuff like that, stuff that you don't see really.
Right. What age
anymore.
are we talking? Like James?
Yeah, James is almost 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he does a really good job, and because he is who he is, like the parents don't balk at it really.
Yeah.
I think if
You
it's
have
like
to
me
respect
doing it,
Yeah.
they'll be like, well, Timmy wants to wear an arm sleeve,
Right.
But with the
And
threes, what you were saying,
You would cave.
Huh?
You would cave. You'd give into it.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
I couldn't show up back home if I did, so
Yeah.
I have to do something. But with the threes, like when I coached my son's like school team, and then I help out when I'm home for this team, and it's just like if you kind of don't like hold these kids in control, like they're just all they want to do is just jack horrible threes. Like if you scrimmage, if you're not like watching, they'll just start jacking threes.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And
it's just what they see.
they can't even make layups yet, consistently, or a left-handed layup or something like that. And it's like, all right, let's get to the basics first.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. Alex can't make a left-handed layup either.
Yeah, I can.
I was
That's
shooting.
why
We're giving him too much
That's why
crap.
Jack Cooley would never take my spot.
Jack Cooley took my spot. Well, you said it. You're like, that's all they see. It's not. I don't know if like those kids are watching NBA games, right? But
No, they are.
a little bit. But I feel like more than anything, they just see the clips and
And
the
they're watching
highlights.
TikTok highlights.
Yeah, TikTok highlights, and
You're
it's
right
all just the buzzer beating threes, the step back threes.
I guarantee they're not watching a full. They're sitting down watching
Yeah,
a
there's
full
no
game.
way. It's. I mean, there's some kids that just love it that might, but yeah, mostly they're on social media, and that's what social media pushes. They can't dunk, so they're just gonna do the threes, which is kind of crazy. You used to get them up too, though. I mean, like we had a unique team, like youth team, but like I don't know if we were just shooting to shoot.
No, I'm
Because we
all
had a coach who was on us about.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if we're getting good looks, like I mean, I emphasize heavy with my team. Like, let's get 2 feet in the paint and find options. Like, if nobody stops you, let's go score. But we're sprinting the floor, we're trying to teach good spacing. And then if we can get 2 feet in the paint, let's find open looks. And, like, those are great shots. Like,
Why do you think lockdown has your number so much? Why do you think that lockdown team is killing you guys so much?
I'm not even going to respond.
Really emphasizing that.
I'm not even going to respond to that.
The 12U lockdown team, they're like 15-1 on Teach.
Are they better than the Warriors?
Like, they might be.
They might be.
We were sitting courtside of this BYU game, and this kid's like talking shit to TJ. We're sitting there, and they're like, "Who's the coach?" And the kid's like, "Yeah, I played for lockdown. We beat you guys by like 30. Remember that?" And T just flustered. I'm like, "Yeah, they beat you by 30." And they've had these guys' numbers. It's been rough.
Would you like to finish that story?
You got him last time, though.
That was the. Yep, and then Teach got him last time. He made sure to text me right after.
That's what it means to teach.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, just so you know, we got locked down." I was like,
That was at 1:15.
"Yeah," I was like, "Okay, man." I'm like hanging out with my kids and stuff. Like, good job, though. Like,
This is coming back at you, I promise. Freaking one step in from the 3 runners, acting like that's a good shot.
That is true.
that is a good shot.
No, it's not. You didn't even hit the rim.
On what?
He took this terrible shot, and I was like, bro, that's a bad shot. He's like, why? I'm like, because you don't work on that. He's like, I don't work on any of this.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah, that's true. It was a big game. It was a floater.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, from one step in the 3.
Yeah,
It was a Wemby floater.
it was a floater.
All right, last rapid fire. We'll jump into some other stuff. What was it like? And this is another broad question. You can take it wherever you want. What was it like growing up in Utah, being connected to the Jazz, which at the time, obviously had come off, a really successful run. You had 2 of the greatest players ever on that team, and again at the time it was the only sports team, right? Mm-hmm. We only have one more now, but I just feel like sports in general have picked up in Utah, and there's a lot more, not a lot more, but more to do and more to watch and more to be a fan of. But like Jazz was the team, and you were directly connected to it. What was that like for you?
I mean, it was great, man. Like, just growing up here in general, the city was like kind of booming, like growing, kind of like similar to what it is now. It's always been up and coming, and just had a great time. The Jazz were great. Got to watch a ton of games. Great basketball. In my opinion, kind of like the golden age of the NBA. And just to be able to be there and see all those games, and the Jazz never missed the playoffs. When we were here, and that atmosphere, in the Delta Center is always just incredible to be around.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Did you go to most games?
Yeah, most
like every game.
Yeah, I would say close to it.
That's
I got older.
Lifestyle, man. That's fun.
When I got older, I had my own games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we'd be out here in Provo playing like a 7 p.m. game.
Yeah. Dad's playing the Lakers. You're like, sorry, I can't make it tonight.
Yeah.
I got my own
Got
stuff.
to drive all the way down here.
Yeah.
Are you like a fan of MJ, or like, did you hate him?
I wasn't a fan. I kind of respected him because I think, if we ever, I was probably like 10, 11 when they were, 10, 11 when they were winning the championships against the Jazz. And I think just if we ever he'd come home and we'd be like, we hate him. And then my dad would like grab us and be like, no, we don't really talk about like that about anybody, and then he would talk about him in a kind of a way of respect. And obviously, he wanted to, win every time he was on the court against him. But I think his mutual respect kind of with him was helpful for us kids to be like, all right, well, we don't hate him, but we wish we would win at the same time.
All right. What's up, everybody? Thank you again for tuning in. Want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Roan. They've got the best stuff. We're huge fans. We love giving it to our guests. Got some really nice stuff right there for you, David. Got a shirt. Get after it in the weight room. I know you do.
Absolutely.
That's all we did. And then some shorts, but super comfortable, light, breezy. Looks really nice as well. Fits and feels great. So thank you, Roan, and thank you, David. It's funny because I'm just thinking I grew up a Celtics fan, being in Boston, so hated Kobe. I didn't hate Kobe, but if anyone, if an adult told me no, we don't hate him, it'd be hard for me to be like, okay, yeah, I don't hate him anymore. Deep down, I was just so I thought my whole life was the Boston Celtics, so I just was convinced that I hated this guy I knew nothing about, but just that he'd beat us in the finals. And so I was like, can't stand him. He's the worst human being ever.
That's how it goes. That's sports.
It's TJ's GOAT, though, so, it's good that you respect him. Huh? No. Michael Jordan, I'm going back to that. Yours is Kobe, right? Who's yours?
Huh?
Follow-up question to that.
Like, who's the best player of all time?
Yeah.
Probably Jordan. I think it's, like I said, you can't really measure the guys in this era just because they make super teams,
Yeah.
It's like, what would have happened if these guys joined super teams, it's not the same.
Well, what about, he had some guys, though.
Who?
Jordan.
Yeah, but they were all homegrown. Like, they were all there, and they made it happen there. He didn't go join two of the other, like the Spurs or something.
Yeah, that's fair. I just feel like if you have Hall of Famers on your team, you have Hall of Famers on your team, right? Like, and he did have two of them. So, I don't know. I don't know where I am. Every week I change.
Well, I played against LeBron. So.
I've never said that to you. I've never said it to you two. I've never said it to anyone.
So you didn't play against LeBron?
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
If I get asked, I will answer. I'm not going to lie. I never played him.
That way more than Ignite. So.
It's a lot easier to bring up Ignite because I'm telling a story. I'm giving context to why I was in Vegas. I'm not just going to start a sentence. Hey, what's up? Well, when I played LeBron, he was wearing shoes. Like, you're wearing shoes. Like, you can't just weave it in.
Somehow you do it with Ignite, so.
Oh my God.
It's a gift.
Okay, I'll find a way.
Just switch it, bro.
Well, David played with LeBron.
For like, what, a week in preseason?
You guys are homies, though, right?
Yeah, big time.
Got treatment together.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he dapped me up once.
He jacked you up. That's big time.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a handshake or no?
No.
No handshake. You're crumbling. What cooler than what about me? Just me, like him getting a dap is just cooler than my existence?
No. Well, potentially.
Or me playing for Ignite?
You playing against LeBron.
No, that's dope.
Nice.
He's 0 for 1 on me. We went, huh? Well, I just said he's 0 for 1 on me, so you tell me.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I guarded him on a switch.
Let's pull up this energy clip, though.
Please do. Please do. It was a miscommunication, but I just decided to go out there, put a hand up. He missed the 3. So when we went to Oregon with Ignite, we toured the Nike. Have you guys been to the Nike facility? And LeBron's got his own building. And I think have you been to LeBron's building?
Yeah.
So it's got the hoop and it's got all the places where he's made every shot. And I think they probably put that up when he broke the scoring record. I'm not on there. He didn't score me.
That's sick, bro.
Thanks, guys. Look at that.
Yeah.
Just open your minds a little bit.
I will give you credit when credit's due.
You should have a court in your house where he missed the shot.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Or where I made my 1 or 2.
That's what you should do.
I hit a shot on AD and my leg gave out on me. So I'm like, it's amazing that it even got to the rim. It was nerve-wracking. You've been there. You got a couple call-ups.
Yeah.
What was that like? You got called up by the Jazz. That had to be high.
No, it was awesome. The only problem is kind of what you said in Bayreuth. It's like they had a bunch of injuries. I was probably going to play, and then all of a sudden I get up there and everyone's healthy.
They're trying to trade him away or something like that. It just happens like that.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird time. They had won like 24 games in a row, so I was like, all right, just kind of don't like mess anybody's rhythm up or anything.
Yeah.
They were really good.
What year was that? Who was on that team?
It was Donovan Mitchell's rookie year.
Oh, wow.
And then we lost to the Rockets in the second round. That was when Joe Ingles was going crazy with like Westbrook and Paul George. It was pretty cool series to be a part of.
Talking so much.
Oh man,
what's he like? He's like the king of trash talk. He just doesn't care.
Well, yeah, he's just a super outgoing Australian cat.
Lets it fly.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot of attitude, a lot of grit, man. What makes him great.
So did you get 2 10-days and then they just signed you for the rest of the season, which included the playoffs?
Yep.
That's freaking sick.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That is super cool. Lived in the Grand America?
Yeah, lived in there.
Because it's like you're just in limbo.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to get a house because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it was nice.
That is cool. Was your dad out for most of those games?
I think he came to a couple.
Yeah.
But luckily he was in. He came to some of the ones that I actually got to play in, which is nice.
That was dope. And then who else called you up?
The Kings
from Reno.
Yeah, from Reno.
Reno. One story I want to get to eventually is, and we talked about this. We had a baseball player a couple weeks ago, and they have the minors that they're all just moving up and down constantly, and we've all talked about this, and I know you'll feel the same, which is that like in these minor leagues in the States, it seems like you get the most random jumble of teammates, like most interesting cats, just because a lot of like different roads get guys there. And I know you have seen some interesting dudes on teams. Reno is a place where some of those guys were. Like one of the craziest stories I ever heard was the fight that broke out.
Oh yeah. So it's like one of the last games of the year. We're in Oklahoma City. One of our teammates played at Oklahoma, so we got to practice in their facility. Turned into a nightmare for that university. But our two oldest guys on the team, they're older than I am now, and they were just jawing, and all of a sudden they fight. One guy tackles another guy, just shatters his jaw like on the ground, like his forehead like landed on it, and his jaw is just like hanging off to the side. Tongue is like just, I was like, there's blood everywhere. I'm like, we had to go like tell like the head coach of Oklahoma like that, like, hey, like you guys have like an ambulance or something. You know what I mean? It was like it was like,
hey,
so
thanks for letting us use the court.
We're never inviting you guys back. And
just a small thing. Do you have a helicopter that we could, and also an ice box for his jaw because it fell off?
Life flights.
Life flights. Spare jaws. Yeah, it's crazy.
Absolutely wild. And one of the guys is like one of the head assistants at an NBA team.
Really?
Yeah.
The one that got his jaw broken?
No, the one
that broke the jaw.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's wild. And another one, a bunch of my favorite stories of yours also come from Puerto Rico, who we were talking last night. You have not signed with the team. Tell people how that works. So people don't even know that there's a league there, how good it is, when it runs, and what a lot of G League guys do. Yeah, so Puerto Rico it's a league that's just, tiny, small island of Puerto Rico. There's about 12 teams. For example, the team that I played for last year can like fit like 12, 13,000 in pretty regularly. And they love basketball out there. But this team or the season starts kind of right after or just as it kind of blurs with the G League season. And then it goes till, late June or early July. And it's just, a ton of games, good basketball, a lot of like, for example, I guess like Solinger, like a lot of big like China guys and guys that play in China, come to the league. And there's been a lot of like ex-NBA. Cousins was down there
DeMarcus
last season or the season before?
2 seasons ago. Like Hassan Whiteside and a bunch of other guys that played a long
Willie
time.
Cauley-Stein, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just a really, really good place to be, for the summer, and the league's great. Yeah. You lived in Bad Bunny's house or something? Were you playing on his team? I lived in his or one of his houses. I don't know what his role is with Bad Bunny, but he's like the head of like all his like music. His name's Noah Assad, and I lived in like one of his houses out there, and pretty nice place, man. Like pool table like in the front room type stuff, but it was cool. I mean, I enjoyed it, and I don't play for that team anymore, but they're top notch. Is the league like? My understanding of it is that it's super physical. Like they kind of let anything go. Well, I think Puerto Ricans get a nice whistle. Yeah, it's a lot like Europe, for example. Like and if you're American, like you got to play through a lot. Yeah. Like if you're doing well, they're going to try to they're going to lay down on charges, and you're going to get 2 or 3 fouls real quick if you're not careful. They're not going to call anything for you late. If you're up 10 with a 5 minutes to go in the fourth, it guaranteed it's going to be like a tie game by the time it's like the last one. So
Yeah.
you just know that it's going to be like that, and it's if you accept it, it's fun.
Yeah. How much longer do you think you'll play?
I don't know. We'll see. I got all the kids are getting older, sports and school, and you know how it goes. So that's the only thing that kind of would stop me now.
Yeah.
But try to have the little semblance of like foundation somewhere, and then try to figure it out.
Yeah.
What do you do during the year? Your family's where?
They're in Spokane, Washington, and then they'll come out in Puerto Rico with us.
Okay.
And they'll just it's nice that our school system will give us work so they can miss the back third of the school year, so they can come with me to Puerto Rico. But G League season, I'm mostly they're in Spokane and I'm here and just trying to go back as much as I can.
Yeah.
Going back to your time at Gonzaga, you had a pretty cool story there. I'm assuming you grew up a Gonzaga fan.
Of course.
You didn't have older siblings play there, did you? They played elsewhere.
Yep.
Right? So you were the first that...
Yeah, my brother played football in Montana, and then my other older brother played here at Westminster.
Oh, that's right. And was that Mike?
Yep.
Is he still playing?
Yeah, he's with, I don't know what the team's name in France, but doing
he's
well.
still in France?
Yeah.
That's dope. And he just had a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, grew up big Gonzaga fan, living in Spokane, and then you walked onto the team. And then 4 years later, you're starting, going to the tournament. What was that like being, that kid that grew up dreaming about that and then eventually doing it?
No, it was, a dream come true. Just even, earning the scholarship probably my sophomore year after my redshirt year was like, that was it for me. I was like, well, I felt like that I don't really need to, I proved to myself kind of what, as much as I needed to. Everything else is really just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
And then to fast forward to now, 11 years into the professional career is just, pretty cool, man.
What was that like? Because nowadays they'll do some big, not always, but you see some cool videos of I think last year was it Washington that I'm looking at you because you're the football guy. Was it Washington that had that kicker that hit a game winner, and then they in the locker room after the game, the coach was like, "Hey, he's you're on scholarship," and everyone just went nuts. Do you remember? Was it a moment like that, or was it just a conversation with a few? Do you remember the specifics?
So I think when it was midway, it was during Christmas break or something during my red shirt freshman year.
Yeah.
And I think we did something similar to that. I don't know. It wasn't filmed or anything, but yeah, very, very similar to that. Hey, myself and then Mike Hart, who was another walk-on on the team, got a scholarship for the second half of the year.
Yeah.
Big time.
That's cool. Do you remember, because you would have been there, and then going into your sophomore year, is that when BYU made the jump to the WCC?
Yeah, so I was able to play against BYU before they were in the Mountain West.
Yeah.
So that's Jimmer and then Jackson Emery, that team.
Yep.
And then
in the tournament.
Yeah. And then I was able. Then next year they moved to the WCC, and I think I played against both Collinsworth brothers, and then did I ever mix with the Emery brothers? Did I play?
No,
I don't think
just
so.
Jackson. Just Jackson in the tournament, I think, because then the next year was he a senior when they went? Was he a year older than Jimmer? Because Jimmer was a junior, right?
No, they're the same age. Jackson and Jimmer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he had one more year. No, that means Jackson would have had a year in the WCC. I don't know if they are the same age.
Did Jackson play? He played a year without Jimmer, didn't he?
Uh-huh.
Did your brother play with Jimmer?
Yeah. Freshman year.
And so he wasn't there when I played him.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because that year I was on his mission.
Mission, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're an
So I was
honorary
actually 16.
Mormon because you have 5 kids?
I get that question a lot being from Salt Lake, and I wouldn't say that I'm an honorary Mormon. I don't know what that is.
It influenced you to have 5 kids. You're like, it's just
I don't know what it is either. It just feels right. You're an ambassador.
Yeah.
A Mormon ambassador. Yeah. He watches conference just so he can keep up on the lingo and make fun of me.
Twice a year, man.
Twice a
We're
year.
locked in.
I know what you're doing in October and April, first weekend, baby.
Yeah, definitely. You got me.
Do you remember that obviously BYU fans are that run was historic. I told you Kyle Collinsworth here yesterday, and so he was on that team. What do you remember from that game? I don't remember Jimmer's. I just remember the picture of Jimmer against Gonzaga on Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he had a good game, but I don't remember all like the details.
No, they were really good. No, and it wasn't just him.
Right.
That's what like most people didn't understand. Like like Jackson Emery. I think that's the
Killer.
older brother. Yeah, killer.
the older, yeah.
And he, I thought, was like the key to the team because he would sit up top in the zone and let Jimmer rest, basically.
Yeah.
Like he would just cover so much ground, make every open shot and just kind of did everything they needed. And then obviously, who are some of the other role guys on that?
Well, there was Brandon. There was Brandon Davies
yeah.
at the big. There was Noah Hartstock, who once Brandon was out, he played kind of small ball big, and he's a killer too. I'm trying to. Charles Will. Kyle, obviously. Was Chris Collinsworth? Was he? He might have started. Maybe it was the year before because I know he started having some ankle stuff. Zylstra didn't play.
Steven Rogers came on.
Steven Rogers. I was trying to think when Kyle was talking about Noah yesterday. When we did that camp with him, it was like a BYU player alumni thing that him and Jackson and Charles put on.
Yeah.
Because Noah didn't like come GA or anything, right? I'm just like trying to think of when I tried to guard Noah, and I just remember like you could not stop him. He would just do a fadeaway in the post.
He had some great post
He just couldn't touch. Yeah, he was. He was the BYU Dirk. No, yeah, and that's exactly what Kyle said yesterday. He's like, obviously Jimmer was like the bucket getter. He was so clutch, which is what made that year incredible. He's like, but the team was just built perfectly around him to aid him, right? Like
really
what you just said, like let him rest on defense. Like that's awesome, right? If you got a guy that's going out trying to score 50, but he can get a little bit of a breather, then that's killer.
Yeah, Jackson complimented him very well.
Yeah.
It was a great deal.
I think we threw Jackson in that starting five, right? Didn't we? Say get a
Yeah, he was
Kennedy's shaking. Yeah, she remembers. She knows ball.
Is that starting five feet? Is he starting 5 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Danny Ainge. Sure, who else?
Like crap. I think we had Lee.
Arujo. I mean, he's mean. He's good.
Lee
Kamard.
Um,
David's like, yeah, I never heard of two of these guys. I don't remember. No, we
Jimmer in it.
You didn't have Jimmer in it?
Well, this is Kyle's.
We just had Jimmer coming off the bench just to light it up. We had Tyler. We decided Tyler Haws is in there, and we're going to build the offense around Tyler because he can get a bucket in there. And Jackson.
I think it was
That's a solid
Danny,
team.
Jax,
We had Sean Bradley. Yeah,
Lee.
kind of.
We didn't really like.
Till Arujo came in. We didn't
we really-
solidify. Not 20. Not in the Marriott Center. We're putting up a fight.
No comment.
No comment.
He's 2-11 now.
Well,
Oh my god.
it all would have been different if NIL. Well, that's what we should have said. No, that's what we'll say today. NIL is a thing. So BYU
should win.
we should win.
Yeah,
We got-
NIL's a thing.
we got
They
the
should
money.
definitely win.
Yeah. Okay. So
Should.
will. Where there's money, there's a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just get him in there.
AJ. Yegor.
Can we throw like a Kafusi brother in there just to hack?
I know. Football guy, get him in.
Yeah. Bring Bronson. He you were there.
Yeah, he took me out and Kelly Linick a couple times. He should have been thrown out for that stuff, bro.
He took you out too.
Yeah.
Like on a screen, just moving screen or something.
Yeah.
Like just elbowed you.
Oh yeah,
Back of the
he
head
knew
or
it was
something.
coming.
It's like Karnowski.
No, Shemek was never like that.
Shimon couldn't move fast enough to like hurt you like that. Like, those dudes were like athletic.
Yeah.
I just remember your sophomore year.
Careers in the NFL.
I believe it.
Yeah.
They should have started then and not even stepped on the court.
Got to stay in shape.
I guess
I
so.
just remember Corbin, our year together, Corbin came and started practicing with us like right after football season. So he's like pushing 300. And like he couldn't put the brakes on. Like, so we'd be like running down the court, and then I'd like try to start like an early seal or something, and he just like couldn't stop. So he'd just like throw me to the baseline.
So like,
this is not gonna be
so
fun.
he would just show up after football season.
Yeah.
Like, was he like
maybe a week?
Did anyone
after.
tell him to like show up, or is like, or is like nobody's gonna stop him? Stop him.
He's like, well, this is what
I wouldn't be the one to tell him. You can't come here anymore. Oh yeah.
We played both of them. Like they were like we played against both.
In basketball, you mean? Yeah.
They were. It was ridiculous.
The high-low must have been just crazy. Well, when you played 5, you were a husky little kid, so you were the center.
They had a lineup, bro. They had those two, and they had two other kids that were over 6'8".
Jeez.
Britain Covey's older brother was the point guard.
They're just like running routes. All they know is football. Yeah, you could throw a Kafusi. I had Bronson on the show a couple summers ago, and we talked about the Kelly. That's like a staple in BYU history because it just got people so hyped. Like, can't beat them up.
Yeah, awesome.
BYU should just bring in a football player every year.
Yeah, 4 minutes to 2 flagrants.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's like, yeah, Kelly hit a reverse dunk, and like he looked at the bench wrong, and I was like, Coach put me in. I was like, oh my gosh, he could have ended Kelly's career.
Yeah,
he's been in the NBA for 15 years or whatever it is. Could have all ended there when Bronson decided he was a quarterback.
That was up at the kennel, right?
Yeah, I actually don't remember.
I remember the Marriott Center. One of them.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure it was both.
Yeah, let's get that synergy.
In our game up at the kennel, Corbin got away with some.
Which one is better? Corbin?
You got away with one too against Granowski.
Was Corbin or Bronson?
You got away with one.
I got away with a foul.
That's just a tag.
That's exactly the one.
I was just
tag on what was his name?
Williams?
Petrusive.
Oh, Petrusive.
I'm just doing what I'm told. He's rolling. I'm tagging. I'm getting back out.
You got away with it? What? Like you knocked the wind out of him or something?
Yeah, I knocked him in the back, and he.
No call.
No, I think they called a foul, and then they went to go look if it was flagrant, but I didn't get a flagrant.
No, he didn't get away with one then. One of I hate to say this because it was against the team I was on, but one of your greatest plays, well, I can't say that for you, but you had a great play against Anson Winder. The block.
Oh, yeah.
Our year, so 2013 to 14. I think it was at your guys' place. I kind of want to look this up.
It was in the WCC tournament.
Oh, was it? Would it be on YouTube? I know you know.
It probably would be. I don't get a lot of blocks. I look that one up from time to time.
just put a burner and you're just like, oh yeah, block against BYU.
Eric's like, let me teach you how to set up this burner.
Oh. That's not a little block either. Shemik almost like breaks your neck.
Dude, that's why I said he ruined my moment, dude. I was like gonna look tough, look at the crowd, and he like just
shakes you. Yeah. Your neck just slapped against your chest. Your body just went limp. Okay, but talking about NIL, have you?
Oddly enough, that play got me drafted second round in the G League. That's what the GM said. He said, like, we didn't know anything about you. We just saw this block, and
you're kidding me.
Yeah, that's what they told me.
That was Reno?
Yeah.
That wasn't McClish, was it? No, he wasn't there.
No, he wasn't there.
Oh, okay. No. That's actually awesome. Yeah. So shout out Anson Winder. I hate to do it to him. That's my guy.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. But you should have seen David coming. Talking about NIL, have you followed much like what's going on in college sports right now? Like obviously you know what it is. You know that there's this kind of wave of players getting paid, but like, what are your thoughts on it? How deep into how it all works are you?
I don't really know how it all works. I know that kids are making huge amounts of money right now, and I don't really like kind of what it's done to the game. Like for the guys, for the players themselves, like of course, like if you have a chance to make some money, I mean, we talked about Jimmer earlier. Imagine what his value would have been in this.
I think he would have come back.
It would have been like true NIL, like Caitlin Clark type stuff. Like
it would have been out of control. But just how they have to cater. They can't have everything. No other industry has like has like the players run everything. They can't get waived. They always, they can transfer at the end of the year. And I think just for coaching and basketball in general, it's like there's no like I'm gonna make it here. You know what I'm saying? There's no like
there's no year story.
Yeah, no, and no one's like, the coach tell him he's not good enough and he worked hard enough to then like earn that coach's respect. Everyone just transfers now.
Right.
So I feel like it hurts us at the national level. I think eventually that's what it's going to lead to is we'll start losing gold medals and stuff like that. I know it's kind of a weird connection, but I think we don't have like dogs anymore.
Yeah. I see that.
It's true. I know we talk about this all the time, but I feel like most people don't even really like basketball that play at the highest level. And I feel like once money's involved, I don't want to say this, but once money's involved, I feel like a lot of the joy kind of is stripped a little bit and it becomes a job. You're focused on like, how can I get my next contract? How can I get my next check? That's important. And now that's trickling down to younger and younger ages, and everyone's just focused on money. Whereas, it would have been obviously awesome to make some money at BYU and have NIL then.
Yeah, and you're not.
Well, I don't think I would have had the teams that I would have had because, it's hard because everyone just is looking out for money, and it's like, okay, who's going to pay me the most, and
where am I going next?
And where am I going next? Yeah. And that's unfortunate. And like my senior year team, I played with a couple of those guys for 3 years, and we built $1,500. I felt like I had made it. I was like, $1,500 a month, and I'm playing basketball.
Yeah, we talked about that because
nothing could be better.
I think my last year was like $1,350 or something, and I was like, I'm the coolest guy on campus. I'm like rich. You can't talk to me.
I got like $600 after rent.
Yeah, and I don't even pay for food. The team gives me food, so I just pocket this money.
$600. Let's go.
Yeah, and it's like they make $600 an hour.
Every shot that goes in is $600 in my pocket.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. What's the dream? What's the dream NIL for you going back in time? Like partnership, like a hunting outfitter, like a knife brand.
That'd be cool. I don't know. At that time, like probably just like a Taco Bell.
Taco would be sick.
Or a couple like local like burger places near the campus. I don't know. I just wanted to eat, man. Yeah. That was like I was there before Shabazz said he couldn't eat, and then next year everyone got food all the time.
Yeah.
So we were really just out there trying to eat.
That's crazy.
And then you couldn't accept free stuff, which is that was so dumb.
Yeah, and, I don't even know if I.
What free stuff did you accept there?
I was about to say I didn't ever even get offered because I think especially at BYU and we've had I've had big picture conversations with people about how BYU is maybe the biggest winner in the NIL era because our supporters and boosters and fans they follow the rules. They're not. Obviously there's exceptions. Nobody's perfect, but for the most part, I didn't even get a single meal offered to me. You know what I mean?
I got free stuff.
Oh my gosh!
What, your shoes from the locker room?
Football is different. Football is different because there's so many guys that can't keep track of them. I can't speak for the football team, but the basketball team, we didn't get anything, and we didn't even get offered anything because I think people knew we could get in trouble. But I would have accepted a meal for sure.
I was too scared.
Well, what did you get? What was your free stuff? Hats. That's what got you in the hat business. What? Just one thing. I don't believe you.
We got meals. We got shoes. We got.
Who's we? Were you just you were hanging out with the stars? Groovy.
It was free
just
from
getting some of the crumbs. Just getting some of the crumbs. Hey, Mitch, you gonna finish that sandwich? You think they'd get you another one? Ask them if they'd order you a second one.
So you just stick around long enough. Good spots.
Free stuff like shoes and food. That sounds like it was like a team function.
I feel like
this is sick.
TJ probably got paid a little bit. He probably got paid.
No.
I know he got offered.
Yeah, my $1,500 stipend.
He got offered to go somewhere.
No, I didn't.
Duke came calling.
I'm a Cougar, bro.
Yeah, but that's just it. I mean, we've talked about this a lot. Like, you are a Cougar, and you're a Cougar legend, right? You're on some really good teams. Grew up a huge fan, and then stayed for 4 years. He's a legend. I don't want to hear it. Don't slander this time. But, like, I don't know if you would have stayed 4 years with NIL. You could have gotten astronomical offers to go somewhere else. And at that point, it's like,
I'm married.
you're married.
I like
Your senior year, you had a kid. So it's like, you're taking maybe one of those offers, right? And the hope is that BYU matches it and they're in a position to do so, but like not every school is, and that's like kind of the nasty part of it.
What school sways me the most?
What if Utah offered you $5 million? Would you have done it?
Let's not go down that road.
No, let's go down that road. Just last question. $5 million.
No, I'm going to answer his question. It's hard because I'm not going to answer that question.
You're not going to answer either of them?
I'm done with you
BYU
guys.
is going to match whatever anybody's offering.
No, that's a fact.
No, that school comes around. Like, which school? Like, that's tempting.
The hardest thing is there's a lot of kids that see that see like the big schools and they're like, oh man, that'd be so cool to go to this place. And then they go to that place and they never see the floor. And like, I feel like you see that all the time. And like, you want to go somewhere where it's like, yeah, I'm going to play. Like, you're going to put me in a spot to be successful.
When you're going in your senior year, like, they're bringing you into play.
He's just deflecting. He's a smart boy.
You can act
He's
all
got-
whatever you want. You don't have to, like,
I didn't say that, bro.
describe him exactly.
No one was thinking about him except for
I know.
you.
You don't describe him exactly, and then, like, there's situations like that happen. But it was cool.
I mean, I grew up a Duke fan. Like, that was, my brother was a big Duke
I
fan.
know it.
And I feel
No
like,
longer a legend.
well, no, I didn't say I'd go. Okay.
You basically.
No, I didn't.
Basically.
You said, what would be tempting you? That was your question. We can run that back and listen to it again.
True. That's a good point.
So,
All right. Last question, David. $5 million. You going to BYU senior year?
Oh.
You guys are crazy. $5 million. I'm going to any school. Any school.
Well, am I getting any money at Gonzaga or no?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm going back to Gonzaga.
you're getting 500,000.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
going to
a
Gonzaga.
tenth. Wow, that's a.
5 M's.
You guys are better than me. We know TJ would go to Duke. He'd crumble.
I
I openly admit I'd go anywhere. I'm not saying it's a problem.
Utah.
I'd go to Utah for $5 million. Of course I would. $5 million?
BYU's offering 1.5.
Utah.
BYU's offering 4.5.
BYU. That's easy. BYU.
3.7.
I think if BYU's it's 50%. If BYU's above 50%, I'm going to BYU.
Wow.
But if they double, I'm going somewhere.
2.49.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just
All right.
kidding.
All right, David, we got to get you out of here. Thanks for coming on the show. We
I
know
appreciate
it's busy 2 days, these back-to-backs, and just the G League grind in general. And your family's here, so we double appreciate you joining us and giving us some insight. You have a pretty awesome career under your belt, and we're grateful for your time and excited for you to finish this season out. Go to Puerto Rico, do your thing. So stay healthy, and we'll be following.
Man, thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it. And then, obviously, if you want to get in shape for another USA run, it's up there. It's out there if you want.
Is Ignite still around? No, I would have. Man, I would if I could. I played pickup. I played pickup with these guys a couple weeks ago. My knee hurt it still hurts. So
Okay.
just sucks.
Just 2 weeks, man. That's all it is.
It is tempting, actually. It's gonna say 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 10. Oh yeah.
It's probably a little bit less.
Where are you guys going?
This one, I'm not doing this one, but it's Puerto Rico, Bahamas.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining another episode of Washed Up. Again, I'm your host Eric Mika, Alex Kuresa, TJ Haws here. Again, thank you to David Stockton for being here. You can watch or listen on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. So make sure you do so and tune in for our next episode. We got another great guest coming on.